I might still ask you how your year was. Oh, we're started. Take 3. Hello, welcome back. We are here at Tank Trips headquarters. It's going to be our new Wednesday podcast spot, also cookout night. We are excited to be in year 5, Garrett. Year 5.
Incredible.
How many of these have you won? 2?
1.
1? One more than me, man. I am
rocking
fucking
that
6th
20%
place.
win.
6th place every year, dude.
6th place medals.
We got 2 mics to welcome to the group. Welcome. Don't have much more for you than that.
Fuck you.
There's a lot of like rigmarole that I really need to run through because I just said a lot of it and it just like drags on. But all right, so there's a couple things that we need to vote on, and I will say this again, even if I get flagged. We are a real democracy in the to be determined name of our fantasy league. Comments, messages down below if you want to actually help me out deciding that.
Fuck Iran, fuck Russia, fuck everyone.
Okay, so we're just getting put off. Great. YouTube's gonna love us. I think YouTube loves China the most, so as long as we're respectful to China, we'll be good.
They give us our shirts on our back.
Yeah. If this Batman shirt's made in China, that would be some fuck shit, wouldn't it?
Probably 90%.
We are
Either that or Indonesia.
we're on a new thread, guys. We're on a new eclipse. Is that the right word? A new
Revolution.
yes.
There you go.
With our league, we there's been long enough, and I am the first one to say yes. Free agency for the last 4 years sucked because there's so many teams. There's not enough players out there. We have heard y'all's criticisms, and we have taken knowledge of that. So a way to counteract that is in my other league that I've done for 12 plus years now. We do this thing called it's like a free agent budget, and so you get a certain amount of fantasy dollars, and for whatever player you want to pick up on the waiver wire, you bid that much money, like based on like what you think he's worth or how really much you want this player. So you're gonna start out the year at $50 fantasy dollars, and you don't have to bid any money. Like if it's a kicker, because your kicker's on a bye week, you can bid $0. No one's probably gonna bid on the same kicker as you. Save your money in that aspect, right? I will tell you that like from years past, what I've done is I've kind of hoarded my money because I like the players that I draft, and I wait till like that season-end injury happens. Last year it was Nick Chubb. Jerome Ford ended up fucking blowing
How
up,
many times have you won?
and I dropped like $20 on him, right? I'm like pretty much 6th place in the other league too every year. So
don't listen to Graham. Follow your heart.
So what? Yeah, I mean, listen. After week, like the first couple of weeks, y'all are gonna set. It's basically like stock market. Y'all are gonna set like how y'all want to do it. Like I'm just telling y'all like what I've done, personal experience, so that I don't have a leg up on you. Like I'll give you all my secrets. Ask me any questions you want about the fantasy budget, but I would like to vote on it. 8 people would be majority rule. So within the next week or so, just shoot me a text, say if you're cool with it or not. All this does is it prevents just the bottom teams in our league from being able to hoard all the players on free agency. So like even if you're in first place, you still have just as good of a chance to get that like big star player if you bet the right amount of money. Now, I don't get to see how much money that is or anything like that. I can't cheat in that aspect until all the waivers are put through. The following day, you'll be able to look at a list and see how much everybody bid. I'm the only one who can see that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that as I'll have a laptop here like whenever season starts, and I'll be able to show y'all how much everybody bid. So you'll be able to see if like one week like you're like really ballsy and you're like, oh, I bet $15 on this guy, and the second person behind you bet like 3, and like everybody else will be like, oh shit, like really don't need to bid that much, or oh damn, like whatever. So it'll be like very transparent in that aspect. The other thing that I was trying to do that was new, we were talking about a keeper league. This has been something for, yes, John.
Question on that, on how you're running it.
What's up?
Are you doing it like silent auction style, where if somebody bids 15 and the next lowest bid is 3, you're only going to charge them 4 because that would be winning bid?
Oh no,
Or you
they
can charge
get
the full 15?
they get charged the full
Okay.
15. Yeah,
Gotcha.
so like if you're
Question
ballsy,
off my head.
good thing. If
I
you're
didn't
ballsy,
think
you're
about
ballsy, and yeah, like so like that money is gone, no matter what. Couple things we'll talk about it more. I think that with trades, you should be able to trade fantasy dollars. So Tank wants to trade me a quarterback and 5 fantasy dollars because I'm out of fantasy dollars, and my quarterback just got hurt for like one of my stud running backs. That'll be a part of it. So like there's ways that we'll
So you
and
can-
we'll talk about this continuously. We got like 3 weeks for the draft,
So
2
you
weeks for
can
the
go
draft.
over $50.
You can't go over. It'd just be like you'll be at 0 and like
Oh, so when you
and
hit
Tank just
0,
traded me
you can
5
only go
fantasy
up from
dollars, so
there.
I'll have 5 and
Okay.
all right. So
So you can't have 55 if I trade you.
no. I mean, I don't see why not, honestly, but I don't know why that would. Why would you need 55?
I
instead
mean,
of
if you're
50?
like 10-0 and you got nothing to lose,
yeah, that's fair.
and you haven't used any of your fantasy,
You're gonna
I'm
use
just
some
saying,
fantasy.
like,
You use fantasy stars on bye weeks, injuries, all that stuff. We'll keep a big roster.
depends on matchup.
So there was a couple years ago we had a bigger roster because it was COVID, and people get COVID like every other week, so you wouldn't have so you'd have the extra spots. I'm gonna trim that down big time. I'm gonna trim the roster spots down because there's so many teams, so that way there's more players available to everybody. So that's not something that we're really going to vote on. That's just something that like has to be done because we have 14 teams. So we're going to have less, maybe like a roster spot, 1 or 2 less. But everything else, scoring wise, will be exactly the same. We're still on the ESPN app. The money wise, $100 a team. If I can get that from everybody at a reasonable time, I appreciate it. I feel like I ate $100 or $200 last year. That's not fun. I don't think that.
You don't play.
I don't think that he's with us anymore. But
Oh,
that is something that like it makes it easier for me. I don't like chasing people down for money. That's like the worst thing ever. So if y'all can help me out with that, that'd be awesome. The draft again is going to be at San Jose. I already booked it up with the people September 4th. Probably for you like real life people like 7:15, 7:30, so y'all have time to like get home and go to work the next day.
Thanks.
San Jose on the patio. If you're not familiar, it's a Hardscrabble Road. They got all the outlets needed, and it's very convenient for all the cigarette smokers, so we don't have to leave the draft. And it's a good time. And bring your significant others, your kids. I don't care. Like it'll be fun, and it's just more money for them, and it's a good time. So, the keepers, by the way, I need to say this before the season starts. Because, I mean, it really doesn't matter, like, how you draft with this. But at the end of the year, with what I'm trying to say is that, like, at the end of the year, going in the next year's draft, because what I'm really hoping is that, like, this is going to be the same core group that we have going forward. Okay, so, and, in years past, it's been kind of wishy-washy. We didn't know. So I'm really hoping this is the 14 that we have. If you're part of this 14, love you guys. Welcome. You're 5. Awesome. 2 keepers is what I present. I do 3 in my other league. That's a little excessive. I think 1's kind of like, what's the purpose of it? We do 2 keepers. It's not like, so what everyone's asked me is that like, oh, is it based on like what round you pick them in? No, like that's way too, no. Like I get the point and that's fun, but it's way too difficult. We like some simplicity in this league, make it easy. Basically, at the end of the year, there's going to be 2 guys on your team that you keep. Whether you have like Josh Allen and Tyreek Hill, you want to keep them for next year. But what I like about it is that it gives your team an identity, and it makes it more of like a franchise thing. And if we have the same teams going forward, now there's going to be certain things that like you'd be able to trade if we're in this kind of league. You'll be able to trade draft picks going forward, like where it's like, hey, like I'll give you this for my 2nd round pick next year, or I'll give you because like say like you don't have 2 guys worth of shit at keeping because you sucked, right? So you could say like, hey, I'll give you my 1st round pick next year to a guy that had 4 studs. He can only keep 2 of them. So you can be like, I'll give you my 1st round pick next year to one of the guys that he's not going to keep. And that way you have your keeper. Maybe you don't have pick 1st round pick next year, but you have 2 studs to start the year off with. There's like a lot of that kind of stuff in it that I really think is fun. It's kind of, I get it. It's kind of confusing. I'm used to it because I've been doing it in a long time. I'm not bragging. I've never won that league. I've never won our league. So I'm not saying, oh, I've been doing it so long, I'm good at it. I'm just saying, like, I have experience with it. So I can, like, coach everybody up if that's something they want to do. Now, I know that's going to be a tougher pull than the fantasy dollars. I really hope y'all work with me with the fantasy dollars because that's going to make free agency a lot easier and a lot more fair.
Yes, John.
If you said you've never won the other leagues, wouldn't they want a winning coach to coach them up?
I'm not
Someone like
coaching
me.
them. I'm not coaching them. Jesus. But one last thing, and then we're actually we're gonna take a little break, and we're actually gonna come back and do a fun segment for you because we can't not do that. There's been talks about trading draft picks. I thought about it, and I really was like, ugh, like should I vote on that? Should I not, or whatever? I think it's kind of opening Pandora's box with that. And oh yeah, by the way, no offering real life money.
Jensen.
Looking at you, for players, trades, whatever. Dude, this will be like strike
Sorry,
3.
Tom.
I love you to death, but like, I hope that like we're all like aware of like that's not cool. We're trying to run a fair league, and people have money on this, and it's a fun time. And we're trying to keep it that way. I don't like the idea of trading picks. I think that that's the fun of it is doing it out of a hat, and you kind of just like pick where you lie. So yeah.
Would you care if? Here's a question. So,
Thank you.
If we did
talking to me.
If we did the, let's say you're trading picks for money, would that be okay if we did it for the end of year winnings? If we added on to that instead of keeping it yourself, because you're kind of making an investment on.
I don't like that.
You're kind of making an investment on yourself though. Like, okay, if I give him $40 for this player or whatever,
I don't like that.
You're kind of banking on, okay, I'm going to make that money back.
No, it takes the fun out of it. It makes it more of like a just straight up money. The money is supposed to be like a reward for what you like. It's not supposed to be like all about the money. It's more supposed to be like bragging rights, and then you get like a fucking chunk of money. It's not supposed to be like if I spend like $200 and I win $1,000, I'm still up $800. It's like that's not like where I'm. That's not the point of fantasy football. I know people are like huge into gambling now, and DraftKings and all that shit, but that's what that's for, you know.
Can we?
This is like we're all friends.
Can we
like,
bet on our own game?
If you want to bet Tank $50, like that you'll beat him. Yeah, but I don't want you to bet Tank $50 or ask Tank for $50 because you had a broke week, so you'll give him your running back or something. Like that's not where
I'll buy your running back for $50, bro.
Yeah, yeah. So that's not where we're
Josh Jacobs.
I got you.
Sign it up now.
Can you bet players on a game?
No, see that's what we're saying. It's like the free agent money it's fantasy money. It's like monopoly money.
Right, but if they're playing each other instead of betting actual money or fantasy money or anything else, can't he bet him his running back versus his quarterback that he's gonna win?
Be like if I don't win, you get.
It's like it's a side bet.
It's still a side bet.
It's a lower side bet basically.
Yeah.
You're betting on your bet.
All right.
That's a loophole.
I'm gonna beat you, but I'm betting that your running back should outscore mine.
I'm like, dude, if like Garrett and I are playing each other. Sorry, I'm interjecting again. I know I got yelled at. If Garrett and I are playing each other and we put $20 on the game of like, hey, I got $20 that I'm gonna win, and then I'm like, hey, if I don't win, you can have Tyreek Hill, and he goes, all right, bet $20 I win, and if I don't win, then you get fucking Chubbs. Like.
Well, I think Tyreek Hill for Chubbs would be a fair trade. As long as the trade's fair, I don't care how you come about it.
Not this year.
Not this year.
But we do have Arrive, Vito Power.
I was saying, like.
I'm like, yeah.
As far as these trades go, I really like more trades to happen. So, but not like in a way that is like sketchy. So, I'm sure we'll have a bunch of times where I have to figure it out. So, that's the end of the first segment.